Ghost of Yotei just released and I wanted to play it, but it didn't feel right to play that game when I hadn't even played Ghost of Tsushima. So that's exactly what I did. And of course I have opinions and thoughts that I want to share in this review-like video. Welcome to MathEizen Studio, the channel where I seriously talk about games and try to dive deeper into my opinions and what could be done better in these games. If you are interested in more of these videos, please consider subscribing. I make these videos with love. Today's topic is, as you know, Ghost of Tsushima and how it amazes me. First of all, I want to talk about the graphics. In my opinion, the graphics in this game are the best looking graphics I have seen in a game for a long time. The game has so many beautiful areas and I think the flowers do those areas really justice. I'm not lying when I say that this game is like half just relaxing and exploring, while the other half is just, killing a bunch of enemies. It's like you're actually walking in nature without actually ever touching grass. I also think that the animations in this game are really crisp and that they are very cinematic. Every single cutscene in this game has a lot of good shots in it and it's very cinematic. It's like you're watching a samurai movie, And that's kind of what they are going for as well, and I love that. A little nitpick that I have though is that some areas do look a bit the same if you've play through the game a bunch. Some areas will start to look the same and maybe you'll get lost, but the map is a really good tool to just not get lost there. But that's just a nitpick, okay? That's all I can find that is negative about the graphics. I also think that the animations are really well done in this game and they're really crisp. They really portray the feelings of the character. And there is a bit of level in the areas, There are higher places and there are lower places and it's really easy to go up and down there. It's like they designed a map so that you could easily just go around with your horse and just climb those hills and, find a pathway on the mountain. It's really nice. I really enjoyed that. Anyway, I would give the graphics a 10 out of 10. When it comes to story, it really depends on the genre of the game. Some genres actually don't really have a story and then I can't actually rate a story. But in this game, the story is really important. So that is exactly why I'm talking about it. The story in this game is incredible. It's incredibly well written, it's really detailed, and they really use the characters very well. The characters grow on you, the characters make decisions that they might not like. It's not wholesome, it made me tear up like a lot of times. And it has quite a lot of plot twists that actually make sense, but you don't really see coming. One thing I must say is that the antagonists of this game, you can actually really be like, okay, that makes sense. It makes sense why they are making those decisions. It's not really like black and white, like, oh, he's the villain, oh, and they are not the villain, It's not that black and white. It's about a war. It's a Mongol invasion on the island of Tsushima, and it's a war, and a war is always gonna be like gray areas. Some things are gonna be a bit more black or white, more evil, more sinister or more good, and some things won't be. And I love the way the game portrays that. This story is also about revenge, but also about honor, and it really portrays that as well. I think the main character of this game is like incredibly written, and even though you might not agree with his decisions, he still kinda grows on you, and I wished that I could stop him at some point. But that's not how the story is, And I'm also happy that in some parts of the games you can make some decisions. Aside from the main story, there are also side stories with mystery and revenge and other themes, and honestly, those are incredible as well. I would suggest that you also play all those side stories if you can when you're playing through the game. They are, in my opinion, part of the main story. Honestly, there is absolutely nothing nitpicky or bad I can say about the story, so you already know the score for this part, you know? But let me say one more thing. This game doesn't have a lot of characters, okay? This game doesn't have a lot of characters to remember. That really helps to set the story straight and to actually make the story incredible. Having a lot of characters has its potential, but also a lot of drawback, because sometimes you won't remember who is who again, you know? But anyway, I will give this part, the story of this game, a 10 out of 10. We have finally arrived at the last part of this video, the gameplay. So, for the gameplay it's really easy. You're a samurai and you have a sword and you hack and slash enemies with it. That's not it. Of course it's not it. You actually have to keep a keen mind when you're actually fighting all those enemies. Because there are different types of enemies and there are different samurai styles that you have. So basically you have to look at the enemy type and be like, okay, wait, I have to switch to that style, and then there are other enemies as well in your area. So you have to be quick as well. So gameplay wise, you can't just mash the same button over and over. And also I like how the animations are so samurai like. It's not like in those fantasy games where you just jump forward, slash your sword. No. Jin, the main character of this game, actually has a stance and he actually like moves realistically and slow. It's really nice to see. So basically there are 4 styles that you can switch between, and there are a bit more enemy types. Some enemy types actually kinda die to every single type. Aside from that, you also have a dodge and a parry system. So that really enables you to kill enemies in a different way each and every single time. Other than that, I think there is a lack of bosses slash duels, because most of the bosses are actually just duels you do, and I think they could have done way more in the mainline story. They could have sprinkled some other antagonists here and there, but there aren't many of that, but there were still plenty of those. What I also think is that a lot more enemy types would have helped a lot, because you were fighting kind of the same enemies, just in gradations of difficulty with each and every single area. So I was starting to lose a bit of interest while I was fighting. Well, yes, you have to keep a sharp mind. It still would be nice to have some different enemy types. There were definitely some challenging aspects of the game, and I really enjoyed that. One thing I didn't particularly enjoy as much was the sneaking mechanic, because in some areas you actually have to sneak. You can't get caught, and you know, I'm not really good at that. I like to go in and fight every single one, but sneaking around, it felt sometimes really sloppy, and other times I felt like, oh, I should have been caught here and I didn't get caught. You know, it was really strange, but that was the most difficult part for me about this game. Sneaking around and not alerting any enemy at all. There are also some wild animals that attack you in the open world, but there aren't plenty of those, and I think they could have worked a bit more with that as well. Anyway, I think the gameplay of this game could use a bit more work, and I'm hoping to see that happening in Ghost of Yotei. Anyway, I give this an 8 out of 10. So, I think Ghost of Tsushima already sets a high bar for Ghost of Yotei. It has the incredible score of 28 out of 30. There are no bad technical performances or anything that would drop the score further, so I think we are at our verdict. Ghost of Tsushima is an amazing game to play through even in the big 2025. This gaming experience has given me high hopes for its second installment, but you will have to wait just a bit longer for me to make a video on that game.